Hi, my name is Keith Bell, current president of the Progressive Firefighter Association, PFA. I want you to sit back and listen very well to the pioneers who paved the way for us to be here. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Tommy Williams. I did about 30 plus years on the fire department. But what prompted me to become a firefighter? When I was, I don't know, probably in the 6th grade, you know, your teachers start asking you, well, what you plan to do in your future? And it just so happened that it was a fire in my neighborhood, and I saw these guys have to go in and pull somebody out, and that was like 2 days before. And so when she asked the question, I said, hey, I want to be a fireman.
Okay, my name is Willie Brinson. I was in the Miami-Dade Fire Department for 30 years. What led me to the fire department was the fact that when I graduated out of college, I was working in retail sales with Federated Department Stores. But at the time, my roommate, another guy by the name of Alfonso Wynn, he was in a Model Cities program, and he informed me about joining the fire department. But at the time, I told him I didn't want to be a fire department. But from looking at some of the amenities that the fire department had as far as time off, going to college, the time to go back to college and things of this nature, that's what really reinforced me to becoming a firefighter.
When I joined the organization, and it was called the Miami-Dade Fire Department in the early 70s, exactly in 1974, I joined a mostly segregated organization.
And my teacher at the time told me, she said, well, that might be kind of tough. I said, you might be able to do that, but there aren't any black firemen here. I was born and raised in Miami, Florida.
While on the fire department, that I experienced having dinner with guys in the station, and they would throw my plates, my cups, my silverware in the garbage after we had dinner. You know, there were times that you would walk in the station and instantly there was a continual for the entire day, a continual of either nasty remarks or either some type of hatred going on during the course of the day. I mean, you know, the things that we experienced back during those times, during my 25 years, there were things that you couldn't understand, or well, I didn't understand, others may have, but I didn't understand because all I was there to do a job. I was trying to do the job and do it the best as I could. But at times there was always some constant stuff happening in the station, either with those in control, whether that be in the head of the department or right there within the battalion.
One of the things I found out right away was the academy gave you one perspective of the department. I had originally thought the fire department through the eyes of the academy appeared to be very professional and I thought accommodating, but as I went out to different stations across the county, I found that in actuality it seemed like I was working for several different types of fire departments across shifts from north to south. And I did encounter a couple of instances where I could feel that I wasn't welcome. But I also knew I was well prepared. I was in great shape. I knew I could compete against anybody. So I focused on doing my job. And like somebody mentioned earlier today, eventually I think I won even my most ardent opponents over by my work ethic, because I let them know that I was there to do the same job they were, and as a matter of fact, I was there to serve the community, no matter what the community was, and that's why I was there.
Once I became a firefighter, I was very displeased about the environment in the fire department. Reason being is this: I'm a Vietnam veteran, Purple Heart recipient. I have given blood for my country. And coming back just to be a public servant on the fire department, I was not being treated right. There were 40 guys in my class, and out of the 40 guys, only 15 graduated for BS reasons. One thing that they would really find the guys for was that they had a bad attitude. And you really couldn't measure bad attitude until the federal government intervened and made Dade County do away with that process as far as evaluating firefighters.
So it is great to see the progression of this fire department, because that was something that I, along with others, worked very hard to try to change. And I still remember doing my first interview with fire department official, the first question they asked me, can I get along with white people? So it's a big change to where it is now.
Trying to make sure that we can connect our young fire department with our past, and trying to connect our retirees with our new firefighters. And so one of the ideas, and I didn't create it, I stole it from a buddy in New York that does a dinner thing, and I said, let me give it a try and just see how it works. And I'm big in trying to open the doors, and I've heard the stories. You got the retirees show up and they think you're here for a blood pressure, or I had Spadero, they thought was a homeless guy down in Homestead. But I really, want the retirees to be around, to come in the stations, to talk to the guys, because we've got an incredibly young fire department. I mean, I've only been a fire chief 5 years, and I've hired 400 people. So think about how young this fire department is. Okay, so there's a lot of young faces here. So that was kind of.
Bird Senior, like Menifee, Tommy, Al, I used to see all of them and study. I just start challenge all of them. I was that little runt that used to hang in the back and say, I'm gonna be there one day. And they kept believing in me and they kept pushing me. Ozzy from 7, he raised up in the same neighborhood that I was raised up in. But no, I was raised up in the same neighborhood that he was raised up in. But anyway, I want to thank all y'all. Listen, I do believe in everything rises and falls on leadership. That's why we try to set the tone. Number 2, listen, this is our community. I was here at 11, I've been at 2. I always try to stay in our community and take care of our community. And we need to become a community fire department. And that's a part of being a community is everybody. Each one teach one. We know all the colloquialism, but we have to do that.
I know there's a lot out there about, the progressive firefighter and that history. Those are things I can't change. But for the younger guys, a lot of times if it wasn't for this organization, a lot of us probably wouldn't be here. All right? A lot of us probably wouldn't be here. Okay? But those are things that happened in the past that I personally can't change. As the president of the organization, I want to look toward the future. What can we do to bridge this stuff? How can we help each other out, move forward? Be it diversity and everything else that comes with that.
The PFA is so important because without them, I could have never been part of this fire department. At about 35 years old, I put in a great sacrifice. I had to work a full-time job and go to school full-time. But after making that great sacrifice, this department would have never allowed me to come on the department if it wouldn't have been for some of the people in here right now had to actually go and protest in front of the courthouse downtown and say, hey, you must include these people. I was one of the part of a group of certified people that they were still keeping out of the department. But because of the PFA, that's the only reason that I got this job. If it weren't for them, I never would have made it into this department, even after being certified.
I've been on 26 years now, and I want to take this forum. I didn't even think of it driving in today. I didn't know we were going to be tackling this kind of a subject, but I think it's the appropriate time to tell the PFA, thank you, at least from my part. I got on in 92 with the hurricane. We were in for a week of class, and then they pulled us out, and they put us in operations with everyone else. Before we were semi-trained, Carlos Parnell was one of my instructors in recruit training. I got assigned to a rescue, and for 1 week we're running calls with everyone out in operations. I fell in love with the job. Well, you're at the station, you're talking smack, and you're having a great time. Then you get back to recruit training. We finished our recruit training. I got assigned for 1 day to station 16. And as a good recruit, I showed up at that station early, started opening up all the compartments. I had this big, humongous of a man, wall of a man, say, son, stop that noise, get in here. All right, so I got in, he goes, sit down there. So he sat me down. He's having coffee. I didn't drink coffee at the time. And on the coffee, it says NCNB. He goes, you know what this is? I don't know, bank? He goes, no. No Cubans, no blacks. Sat up, went back to the truck, and I sat there. I didn't have one meal at the table that day. I never went back to that station. I told Chief Johnson about it. I told my recruit instructor about it, and they moved me to another engine at 43. It was still a trader back then, and I had 3 awesome months. I only told 2 people, and I don't think they moved me because of that. I wasn't assigned there, but I thought throughout my career, at least that first rookie year, because after that I went to engine 30, and the fight that the PFA has done for equality and I've benefited from that. And I don't think I've ever said to the group, I've never had the forum, I've never went to one of your meetings, but I have to tell you thank you for that fight, because what you've done, even though I haven't been part of that organization, I got to benefit from it. And I want to thank the guys that retired and the guys who started the program, and I want to challenge the young guys, the young firefighters that are in the program, to continue that fight for people like me that are not in it, not just for you, but that benefit, the whole department benefit from that fight. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Good morning. My name is Don James, class of 34. And, as was mentioned earlier, my twin brother, identical twin brother David, was one of the co-founding members of the PFA. And I can tell you that when PFA started the organization, it was very difficult going to the fire stations to start your ship, because we got a lot of pushback. I mean, I got a lot of questions in terms of why do you need another organization, or are you trying to supplant the union's role as the collective bargaining unit for Miami-Dade County? So you had to deal with those kind of questions 24 hours the whole time you were there, but hey, as far as I was concerned, it was needed. So that's why I became a member. And I'm not going to take up a lot of time. I just want to say that it's okay to be a firefighter. It's okay to be a paramedic. It's okay to be a lieutenant. The organization also needs leaders. And the best way that you could help the organization move forward, if you don't have your education, go back to school. Get that public administration degree. I mean, Dave could use some help up there at the command staff and executive staff level. And if you don't have that education, it's going to be difficult to do that. I mean, you can go up there and you can try, but those budget numbers ain't nothing to play with. So if you have that background, that educational background, it's going to take you a long way. As far as I'm concerned, it's the best way to go. It gives you the opportunity after the fire department to move into other areas. I haven't stopped working since I since I retired. Now, not all of it has been in the fire service career, but the educational background that I was able to achieve through the fire department while I was here has opened up a lot of different areas. So that's what I would like to leave you with, and the fact that the PFA is a great organization. I appreciate this man, Pete Bell, because he's been very instrumental in keeping things going. He's very committed, and I think that we owe him a debt of gratitude, as well as Chief Day. I mean, he's done some things that have been marvelous in my eyes in terms of bringing us together instead of keeping us apart.
Hands to the heavens, no man, no weapon. Formed against, yes, glory is destined. Everyday women and men become legends. Sins that go against our skin become blessings. The movement is a rhythm to us. Freedom is like religion to us.